Good morning, Earth signs, and welcome. I'm David. This is Words of Light Astro-Tarot, and I'm doing an elemental read just for this full moon in Sagittarius at 23 degrees Sagittarius for Monday and Tuesday here coming up. This will go out Monday morning. So, let's talk a little bit about the astrology. For you guys, with Sagittarius, I think I just say, first of all, I'm a Sag. This full moon, Jupiter rules Sag. It's a great benefic. Jupiter, by the way, is in Aries right now, chugging along. It's just kind of good energy for everyone. And it's always for me like just a good full moon. It's benevolent. It's innocuous. It's very kind of easy. Summer's starting. I think kind of pretends I think we're going into a relatively good period for a couple months before fall, when it turns kind of back and generally like a clusterfuck. And a lot of this depends, astrology, like exactly where all your plants are. But this is always a full moon in the beginning of summer, particularly if the sky allows for it. Or it's good to get outside and go to a drum circle on the beach or in the forest, or get in the backyard around the fire pit, or just go out on the outside on the steps and hang out and watch it, and I don't know what, drink a beer, be with friends. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be this big spiritual thing with this full moon. And it just generally feels like kind of a release. You got, at the same time, you've got Gemini popping back in. You got Mercury popping back into Gemini out of Taurus. And it's kind of like, it was in that square with Saturn. And it's kind of like tense. And now it's pop. And everything should be just kind of loosening up. I mean, not to encourage alcoholism. I think it's a great time, to smoke one or to drink a beer and just kind of lighten up and be kind of easy, in general. And so at the same time, I see for you guys, if you're Taurus, of course, coming into play big time is you've got Venus on the nodes at 23 degrees. So, and then it's going to sextile to you guys that are Capricorns and that are Virgos. So, with Taurus a little bit challenged as being a conjunction, but it's not bad. And Venus just came out for Uranus, so you're basically a Taurus, but trines are just really good. So for Capricorns and Taurus, like this whole nodal thing should be nothing but good for you, and speaking somehow to your own personal nodal positions in a Tauran way, if that makes sense. It just depends on where they are, but it's just good energy. You may not even notice how good it is. Trines have got that way about them, like they're stealthy. So maybe you need to stop for a minute. This could be just stopping being grateful in some way, shape, fashion, or form. You found yourself over these last year, half a year, starting to feel more in alignment. I think maybe with this Ace of Pentacles coming in here, being a pentacle, being earth signs, it really speaks to people really being in a good place to start something and in some kind of alignment. The Ace of Pentacles is so solid that this is your energy right here is what it is. What's your energy around this new moon coming in as really solid, really authentic, saying what you mean, meaning what you say, being in a really good place, just, I don't know, even karmically, like being sincere, being authentic, and you can't beat that, right? And then with Venus on the nodes, a lot of what this retrograde has been about, I think, is about values, because it started in Gemini, where it's at home, and it really got me thinking, and then went back into Venus, and went back into Taurus, where it's at fixed Earth, and kind of really, that could be too, this is Taurus energy too, it could be just really forcing us to really come to some kind of real conclusion about just exactly it is what we really want. And that too could be Venus on the nodes. And not just if you're a spiritual person in some way, that's also nodes about your life purpose. So you can really think of it like that. And for a Taurus, it's like, particularly if you're anywhere around that 23 degrees, this should leave me a message here and let me know. I love to hear how you're experiencing it. It should be really hitting you like a hammer hitting a nail on the head kind of energy. Things could pop off too, I think, with Venus on the nodes. I'm a romantic guy. I mainly have a relationship channel, kind of expanding it now with a lot of different things. But it's like, I think relationships, how we experience their soul's work here mostly. I mean, I'm pretty much of a hermit. I thank God, a great relationship, but mainly, we're social creatures, and I think that's how our soul evolves through relationships more than anything. That could be in a relationship coming in, and if so, it'd be like something that's kind of destined. But if not, then it's definitely about like lining up with your values, in some way. And that's what's challenging you. This coming in with the sun is, of course, the best card in the deck. Wouldn't argue that. But this is in what's blocking you, what your challenge is. So it's kind of, I went back to saying like maybe it's that energy, you're not really seeing something to appreciate it, that trine. Maybe it's like stopping and kind of appreciating what you have. Because it seems like you got something pretty solid. And maybe with that sun there, it's like you kind of don't realize how solid you really are. And you could just be, this could be really, that could be Venus on the North Node in Taurus. We're getting really, kind of look at the symbolism of it, where you're really getting your arms around what it is that's really important, that core thing that's important to you. And just having that kind of clarity and connection, a solid connection towards with that thing that you value, whatever it is. That's a gift, I kind of think that's mostly what this sun is about. It's just seeing what you really have. It could be a little bit more spiritual too. Doesn't necessarily have to be the earth thing that you can tap your knuckles on. But now this is your advice from Spirit and the Libran card, of course. But as advice from Spirit with justice, it's kind of like I said, like getting in alignment with that North Node energy. And this is kind of like bringing justice to yourself, really, and balance. And I think it's like, too, just speaking, if you realize that you kind of already have a better, if it's resonating with you and you're thinking like, look, I really do feel like now that you mention it, I do have a better alignment with my values now. It just can allow you to get clear. And this is about bringing a real, bringing in the spirituality to it and putting it into perspective as mental energy too. The sword card and Libran card could be speaking to the Gemini energy too, where you're now getting clear, and you're really, it's like, because it's just hitting on this full moon and still in its shadow, Mercury. So for a few days it's picking up speed, and before you know it, it's going to be out of shadow this week, and there's a lot of things popping this week, and all of a sudden, maybe you don't even relate to this so much if you're watching this reading like tomorrow, but maybe by Wednesday and Thursday, it's like you're realizing more and more what's going on here, and you're getting into this alignment. And it could even be, because this is the advice card, that you're getting feel like you're getting some kind of justice, or maybe you're realizing that you kind of already have gotten justice, and maybe you just didn't quite see it, because the outcome is spectacular. You got the Star card, so Aquarius too, if that's in your chart. But this is, as the outcome, that's 100% going to be fulfillment of the hopes and dreams and wishes. And maybe that fulfillment comes because you're coming in here with this solid alignment with yourself, knowing what it is, having your arms around solidly, who you are, what you want. Venus is really about what we want. It's the desire, as it's hitting that North Node in Taurus. And then out of that, that's classic, energy of manifestation. And that's just all about manifestation, the star card, and it's an outcome. So that's a pretty solid outcome. Not to mention you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a super positive card. And then you have all major arcana, and the outcome being the star. I think, like, I just have this also, again, clairaudient. It's like I get the feeling like maybe, this all won't really come clear to you maybe until maybe the end of the week or something, as Mercury really picks up steam. And it could even be that there's some kind of manifestation. I mean, if you're into love, I think that Venus on North Node, terrible romantic, it can literally be love. Like that, it could really be like on the North Node, that energy of whatever. If you've been trying to manifest love, that it pops up. Then, huh? So let me know what you think, guys. I appreciate it. Channel's doing pretty well. Appreciate if you haven't, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I have a new channel. It's hashtag My Mexican Expat Life. If you have any interest in moving overseas or moving to Mexico, or if you know anyone that's kind of like that, help me out and, check it out or share it. And the first, I just started it, the first video and the second's up. The first one's just a walkthrough of the casa here in Cancun, Mexico. Meet my Mexican fiance. And you can see a beautiful downtown Cancun, Mexico studios of Warriors of Light Tarot. Love you guys. Thank you. Leave a message. Let me know what you think. Have a great full moon, man. Get out, get under it, and enjoy it. That's what it's all about. Sagittarius is all about being outdoors, man.